Today's video covers an introduction to the so-called regression analysis in statistics. Regression analysis is used to determine the relationship between a dependent variable and one or more independent variables. With regression analysis, we can examine whether a suspected relationship exists or not. Here's a small example. We wonder how the use of online explanatory videos affects learning success. In this case, the online explanatory videos would be our independent variable, which may influence our dependent variable, learning success. Does watching a lot of explanatory videos lead to better grades, or do online explanatory videos have no impact on learning success at all? To empirically examine this relationship, we can use regression analysis. The linear regression line can also be graphically represented. The independent variable is plotted on the x-axis, and the dependent variable is plotted on the y-axis. The x values represent the measured values that we obtained through our data analysis. The regression analysis using the least squares method now attempts to design a line where the distances to the individual axes, that is, the observations, are minimized. The goal is to minimize the distance between the calculated line and the actual observed values to keep possible errors as small as possible. In our case, we are dealing with a positive relationship because an increase in the independent variable leads to an increase in the dependent variable. However, if an increase in the independent variable leads to a decrease in the dependent variable, then we are dealing with a negative relationship. And if the independent variable increases or decreases, but this does not lead to any change in the dependent variable, then there is no relationship at all. The regression can also be represented by the following equation: y hat I equals b0 plus b1 times xy. By the way, if there is a negative relationship, the equation would be y hat I equals b0 minus b1 times xy. Let's take a closer look at the components of the equation. The I hat refers to the dependent variable. b0 refers to the intercept of the line with the y-axis. b1 indicates the slope of the line, and xy is the independent variable. Often, the equation is further expanded to include epsilon, which is the so-called error term. This term incorporates the estimation errors, that is, the deviations of the observed data from the line, into the equation. We hope this video has helped you understand the topic of types of the regression analysis. See you next time and have a good one.